welcome back to Food Prep Guide. I want you to tell me if this sounds familiar. You want a prepared pantry, so you go off to Google and you start searching, and what you find is massive lists, conflicting advice, major budget shock, and completely unrealistic scenarios for the amount of space that you have to store things. Well, good news, there is a much simpler and more frugal way that doesn't involve spending thousands of dollars and certainly doesn't involve turning one of your bedrooms into a miniature warehouse. Today, I am giving you the exact roadmap I wish I had when I first started, and I humbly believe it is the fastest route to a prepared pantry that is still realistic. Keyword realistic, considering the money and space limitations that many of us are dealing with. Here's what happens to a lot of people. They find a pantry checklist online, they head to the store and either get overwhelmed by the cost or end up with a bunch of random stuff that they don't know how to use, or worse, they don't even like to eat. But here's the thing, there is a big difference between filling your pantry with 30-year shelf life foods and building a system that really serves you in your everyday life. So today we are going to build for reality, which brings us to the first step in our roadmap, Foundation Week. Before you go out and buy anything, you need to know your baseline. A lot of people skip this step and end up wasting money as a result. Here's what's interesting. The data that you are going to gather during Foundation Week will reveal patterns that you never noticed before. That's because most people think they eat way more variety than they actually do. So here's what you do. Track what you eat for 1 week, every meal, every snack for every person in your family. Grab yourself a notebook and write it down throughout the week. What you ate, what your family members ate, how much of it you ate, and how often you ate it. That's going to be a key in trying to figure out your quantities later. Once you have that data, you are ready for step 2, and this is where a lot of people go wrong. We're going to call it the 2-week challenge. Instead of buying a bunch of food without any plan for turning it into meals, we're going to start with what you already know you like. You're going to take your notes from Foundation Week and identify your top 10 most eaten meals. Then buy enough shelf-stable versions to make those meals for 2 weeks. Notice that I said 10 meals. That's because we are going to assume and build in leftover days. Very important. If you ate meals with a lot of chicken, then you know you need canned chicken. If you ate a lot of meals with, let's say, peppers and mushrooms, you know you need some dehydrated peppers and mushrooms, or canned versions. Here are just a few examples of what this might look like. Spaghetti night becomes pasta, jarred sauce, canned mushrooms, and dried herbs. Taco Tuesday becomes rice, beans, a jar of salsa, some dehydrated or freeze-dried corn, seasonings, and a canned chicken. Breakfast becomes oats, powdered milk instead of fresh, canned fruit instead of fresh, and honey. Next is the thing that separates a functional pantry from a doomsday pantry, and it is step 3 in our roadmap, the rotation system. All of those shelf-stable items that we just identified and gathered, we're not going to toss it into a closet somewhere and forget about it. Instead, we're going to set up a rotation system from day 1. You want to use your stored food regularly and constantly be replacing what you use. This keeps everything fresh and ensures you actually know how to cook these meals under pressure. You're going to incorporate the first in, first out rule, where new items always go in the back so that you're constantly pulling from the old items first. Quick tip, this is also how we're going to avoid having to have a little miniature warehouse in our house to store all of this food, because we are going to be constantly cooking with it and rotating with it, and we're using it just in our everyday life. Once you've mastered the 2-week rotation, you are ready to scale strategically. Let me pause here and say that we have a free 1-year food storage plan that can really help you scale your efforts when you reach this point. It is free. It is going to break down a year's supply week by week using most common ingredients that most people tend to cook with. Go ahead and comment the word Prepper Pantry down in the description box below, and I will send it over. This works really well because you will receive the notification right there in your YouTube app, and the link will be very handy versus you having to search and fish for it in the description box. So I mentioned scaling, and that is step 4 in our roadmap, the strategic scale up. When we expand, we're going to do it smart. We're not going to buy random bulk items. We're going to multiply what already works. So to scale your proven 2-week menu to 1 month, then 3 months, then 6 months, it's simply a matter of multiplication. Buy more of what you already know you'll eat and add variety slowly. Now there's one more step that makes all the difference between a pantry that works and one that fails you when you need it most. And that's going to be step 5 in our roadmap, the reality test. You've got your pantry, you've started your rotation system, but have you stress tested it? This is the moment of truth, and we can kind of make it fun, but it can reveal things that you really didn't know about your pantry if you didn't do like a trial run. So that's exactly what we will do, is a trial run. Pick a Friday through Sunday and live off your pantry for 3 days. Be very disciplined and strict with this. No grocery runs, no fresh additions, use only what you've stored. This is going to help you figure out, can you actually cook these for meals? Does your family eat them willingly? Do you have all the seasonings and basics? Did you forget any really key ingredients or cookware that you need to make those ingredients or those meals? And just overall, what's missing? This test will reveal gaps you wouldn't have noticed otherwise and give you an opportunity to fill those gaps before it becomes kind of critical. Now, this brings us to the last and final step of our roadmap, and that is the maintenance phase. Here's what's cool about having this system that we're setting up in place. It pretty much runs almost on autopilot once you get it dialed in. Yes, you have to go grocery shopping. Yes, you have to continue planning out your meals, but it's as close to autopilot as you can get it once you have your rotation system set up and you know exactly what meals you're going to be using. Set up these simple maintenance habits to keep everything running like a well-oiled machine. You do a monthly inventory check, a quarterly rotation refresh, and an annual system review because life and dietary needs do change. And that's your roadmap. Now, before we wrap up, I want to address the 2 biggest roadblocks that people run into when they start expanding their pantry. They are totally valid issues, but they do have simple solutions. Number 1, and this is the biggest one I hear about, space. We could talk about a lot of different things here, but let me leave you with one simple space-saving tip. Start with under bed storage. You could even do closet shelving or even a dedicated cabinet, but really focus on under bed storage. It is amazing what a pair or a 4-piece set of 6-inch bed risers, how much space that can give you in an area that is probably not being used at all at this point. Now, roadblock number 2 is money. Things obviously cost money at the grocery store. There is no way around that. But this roadmap actually saves money because you're not buying random bulk items that you're never going to use. You can start and scale with just $10 to $20 per week. In fact, the $10 to $20 range is exactly where we tried to land when we built out that free 1-year food storage plan. Don't forget to comment Prepper Pantry below if you want it. That's all for today. We'll see you next time. Bye.